So now this book, Shantadeva's book, of course, when is concerned people is ask me what text. Then I thought this Shantadeva's book may be good. Of course, this will not sort of finish at one session or a few days, but let us start this year. Then hopefully, annually we can carry continuously. Maybe some old phase may disappear, but some new phase will appear. So in any way, it's a life should go. That's life way. Go like that way. So now this text, as a form of introduction of Buddha Dharma, it seems to see start from 9th chapter. Now everybody uses that text. Does
everybody have the text?
No. Good.
Bodhisattva Charyavatara.
Shantadeva's book.
No.
No. Shantadeva's book, they do it.
Guide to the Bodhisattva way of life. Or Bodhisattva way of life.
Kashadu. So 9th chapter, a few shlokas at the beginning of 9th chapter, I want to explain. Now, the treasure chilava, and the thing got the Deshi Chukungas, Church of the Dishtua, Deshi Chukunga, Sajatang Sati. No,
so before starting the 9th chapter, I would like to get you back to the 1st chapter, where it begins with the homage, saying, respectfully I prostrate myself to the Sugatas, who are endowed with Dharmakaya.
Mm-hmm. So what is meaning of Dharmakaya? And what is the meaning of the Sugata, the Orshima, Sugata? Its meaning is, Gotadi Tandadi, Kasurpage, da Dume, Gudchava, Nyor Shivena, Devas. Tedevita, Tedev Sar, any shaking, Tedev Sa, Mondu Cheve, Mondu Gurbe, Devar Shepas.
So Sugata here means that someone has reached that level of blissfully reached that level and has actualized that level through the blissful state by overcoming the suffering and its causes.
Mm-hmm. So in order to know that, we have to think, we have to investigate what's the suffering, what is the source of suffering. Suffering here, suffering means experience. There are three kinds of suffering. Suffering of suffering, and suffering of change, then
pervasive existential condition suffering.
So 3 levels of suffering. So now causes of that. So now I think obviously they like pain. Even animals realize there's suffering. Do not want. Then suffering of change is the certain sort of what's pleasure when we get something like beautiful sort of what's the seeing, or beautiful sound, a taste, smell like that. You see, we get some kind of satisfaction, pleasure. But it's the same, sort of, for example, the same music, you see, initially, very beautiful. As soon as you hear that, you see, you feel very calm and peace, deep satisfaction. If you hear that day and night, then I think naturally, you see, you develop a desire, how awful that, stop that. That kind of the feeling. So that means it's the same object, but your attitude change. So the same object, some period produce some pleasure, satisfaction. But same object, due to certain circumstances, you see, it creates stumbu, or irritation, like that. So the object side, very nature is kasotati, do it to make changing.
Is a condition which is a catalyst for the changeable suffering.
Of money also. I think when poor person is become little wealthier person, feel very happy. And then millionaire, then billionaire, think only that level, or only think money, then I think that person still want more and more jealousy, more sense of competition. And with that, I think usually it's corruption. I think more available among the wealthy people. I think the beggars or poor people, I don't think it's much corruption. The ordinary people, I think much less jealousy, isn't it? Among the poor people, among beggars, maybe a little sort of competition or a little sort of jealousy. Otherwise, not much basis, jealousy. But more wealthier family, more jealousy. And jealousy brings desire to harm, to stop their progress, these things. So therefore, sometimes wealth, initially you feel something like very precious, something like God. Eventually, that same sort of object creates more worry, more anxiety, more frustration. And money destroys friendship, even the brothers, sisters. It often happens. When the family economically poor, genuine friendship, genuine sense of brothers, sisters, become a little wealthier, then suspect each other. As soon as suspicion comes, friendship destroyed. Friendship entirely based on trust, mutual respect. So the sense of competition, negative competition, positive competition, okay. Negative competition, I think, destroy our trust. So like that. So therefore, these are in the second category, suffering of change. Now, third level, all these depend on Kasoda. I think firstly, our body. Of course, money is related to the body, not mind. False satisfaction developed in the mental level, but mainly physical comfort. Right? Like that. You see, many of these sort of things actually some kind of satisfaction actually entirely depend on sensorial
perceptions.
Ah.
Perceptions. Sensorial, at the sensorial level.
Like some satisfaction, hearing music. You see, that satisfaction depend on hearing sensorial experience. Seeing beautiful thing and get some pleasure, that also depend on. So smell, touch, taste, all these, some satisfaction at the mental level, depend on sensorial experience. So long the sensorial levels of some experience there, that mental levels, satisfaction there. Sensorial level stop, no longer there. So more durable sort of pleasure or satisfaction on mental level must come through mental itself. Like faith, not depend on sensorial. So through reasons or through some sort of experience, certain faith, firm faith, is mental level, not depend on sensorial. So people usually do not know, I think lack of experience, they're seeking deeper satisfaction from mental level. So I think animal, difficult. But we human being, because of this intelligence, we have the capacity to develop a certain sort of source of joyfulness on mental level itself. Faith, compassion, then also analytical meditation. Also, you see, entirely on mental level, it brings immense sort of source of joyfulness, satisfaction. So analytical meditation, not necessarily on religious terms, right? But any field, a certain thing is in there, analyze and thinking, mental level. You can get some kind of deeper satisfaction on mental level. So, now is the cause of that kind of suffering. 두식 동에서야디 낭배 최게 집전에 삭생년린지 풍부 삭바트 잡았으잖아요. 랭윤지 삭배왕 중앙 랭윤지 삭배왕 예배 풍부 이는 두식 동에.
So with regards to the third type of suffering that is Holiness referred to, which is the pervasive conditioned existential suffering, it is a suffering which comes about as a result of the karma and delusions. Particularly in Buddhist terms, we use the term the contaminated or impure karma and delusions, which bring about the psychophysical aggregates. So that is basically that psychophysical aggregates which, the psychophysical aggregates which come about as a result of the contaminated karma and delusion is termed as the third type of suffering.
Mm-hmm. So that is a different form of suffering, all changing nature, so must be causes and conditions. Now this question of what causes of this suffering. And then particularly, in order to feel the possibility of cessation of these, cease of this suffering, we must investigate the cause of that suffering, whether can be eliminated or not. Now this is the key factor. Four Noble Truth. It's the first Noble Truth, suffering, truth of suffering. Second, truth of cause. So unless we develop clear sort of awareness, possibility of elimination of this cause of suffering, it is impossible to develop conviction about third, because of nirodha, because of truth of cessation. And without proper awareness about that or possibility of that, then the effort follow mark or path, impossible. Arya path, just a word, right? Arya path, or the noble path, then just a word. So the key thing is we must think or analyze or investigate whether there is possibility of elimination of source of suffering. So now we have to know what is the source of suffering. The karma, one thing. Karma is action. Action, now here, the suffering is part of experience. So mental thing, the external matter, causing pains and pleasure, but pleasure and pain itself is part of mind, mental experience. So the ultimate source of that experience must be part of mind. So now the emotions. So positive emotion causing pleasure, negative emotion, destructive emotion causing suffering. So the very idea, very demarcation, positive and negative or destructive or constructive is due to result. Result something good everybody want. So we call positive. The result painful, even animal do not want. Therefore, it considered negative. So cause of that also is destructive or negative. So now, as I mentioned before, I think no sentient being deliberately create a problem or suffering. So suffering there, endless suffering there. Yet nobody want, no sentient being want that. If every sentient being have choose or power, you see, to get rid of suffering, then I think suffering will not be there. So that means do not want overcome suffering, but suffering there due to ignorance. I think we can say short-sighted, not seeing the deeper level. So as I mentioned earlier, the conventional level also, you see, we have to know the wider sort of
No.
Sort of
ground, wider ground.
No. And then deeper level.